So chat, only a few families know the secret to making this perfect mirror. Why is it perfect? I don't know, but that's apparently the case. If YouTube lets me watch it.
The secret to making this sacred mirror is known by just a handful of people.
Okay.
Aranmula Kanari is made entirely from metal, and the formula for this
Oh.
special reflective alloy has been passed down in this community in India for around 500 years. The secret to making this sacred mirror is known by just a handful of people. Aranmula Kanari is made entirely from metal, and the formula for the special reflective alloy has been passed down in this community in India for around 500 years. The
Interesting.
process is incredibly labor-intensive and done entirely by hand.
So chat, I want to predict why it's perfect. Like they're saying the perfect mirror. I'm gonna say it works exactly like the glass mirror, but it cannot break.
It's all to get a reflection that gives zero distortion, and the mirror is believed to bring good luck.
Okay.
Sudhamal J learned the trade secrets from her father when she was little, so when he died, she chose to defy cultural taboos and take on the business.
പിന്നെ ഏത് സ്ത്രീകൾക്കും ഇത് എത്ര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ള ജോലിയായാലും ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുമെന്നുള്ളതിൻ്റെ ഒരു തെളിവും കൂടിയാണ്.
She's carried the business through a devastating flood and the pandemic. So what makes this mirror so
How did the pandemic even work in India, bro? Like, did they actually have like the same stuff that we had here? Or did they kind of say, fuck it, whatever?
unique? And how is this centuries-old craft still standing? Aranmula Kanadi gets its name from its birthplace, a district in Kerala known for its rich culture, and for its temple, where the mirror was born.
Bro, that sounded like it didn't come from my headset. That sounded like it came from my room. I was so confused.
Originally, only royals and priests could use the mirror for rituals.
Okay.
Today, it's more accessible, but the social and spiritual importance still remains, and so does the age-old process.
Okay, but how is it
സാധാരണ
perfect?
ഗ്ലാസ്
Like
മിററും
what?
ആറന്മുള കണ്ണാടിയും തമ്മിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ ആറന്മുള കണ്ണാടി ആദ്യം മുതലേ നമ്മൾ ഹാൻഡ് മെയ്ഡ് കൈകൊണ്ട് തന്നെയാണ് അതിൻ്റെ എല്ലാ വർക്കുകളും ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഒരു മെഷീൻ
So you tell me the only difference is that it's handmade.
നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നില്ല.
Sudhamal works with her son Niranjan, often into the night. They're melting down the raw metals that they'll need for tomorrow's batch of mirrors. An old roof tile makes the perfect mold. Niranjan seals the end of it so that the molten metal won't leak out. The mirror's alloy is made of tin and copper. They're melted down separately and poured into different molds.
Okay.
The next day, the tin and copper rods will be broken up and melted down together in the perfect ratio to create the mirror's reflective surface.
But why not mix them in the first
Sudhamal
place?
starts the day by making the clay. It'll be used to build the mold for the mirror. She crushes up leftover pottery into a fine powder. Another ingredient is jute, a fiber they take from grocery bags. She mixes the jute and the pottery dust with mud that she harvested from a nearby paddy field. A little water loosens up the mixture, so she can knead it until it reaches the right consistency.
Okay.
Sudhamal is doing the kind of physical work that's typical.
So chat, I'm confused. Is it literally just like handmade and that's why it's perfect? Because like I don't know, this seems like an awful lot of time spent for something that isn't necessarily better, you know what I
done
mean?
by men in this industry.
ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ഇൻഡിപെൻഡൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഈ തൊഴിൽ ചെയ്യുന്ന ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു വനിതയാണെന്നുള്ളതിൽ എനിക്ക് അഭിമാനമുണ്ട്.
Her father became sick in 2007, and his dying wish was for someone to carry on his legacy. Since he had no sons, he left the secrets with his wife and daughter.
ഈ തൊഴിലിനെ മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകണം, നമ്മുടെ കുടുംബത്തെ ഒരു ജോലിയല്ലേ, അത് നിലനിർത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് പോകണം എന്ന് എല്ലാവരും സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടേ ഉള്ളൂ.
Sudhamal's mother, Punamal, is in charge of packing the clay into circular molds. The discs dry outside anywhere from 1 to 4 days, depending on how sunny it is.
Can you not reuse the discs? Or like do you have to break them every time? You know what I mean? Like to me, it doesn't make sense to make a mold that you have to do over and over again. You know, just do one.
Once they're dried and smoothed out, Sudhamal coats the discs with wet charcoal.
We'll see. Maybe there's a reason.
The charcoal fills in the disc's tiny pores, so that the mirror will come out smoothed after it's sandwiched between the two discs. Niranjan puts tiny pieces of metal on one disc before placing the other one on top. This creates a space that the molten metal will later fill. He layers on more clay until the mold is completely sealed. Niranjan
How are you gonna get
learned
the
how
metal
make
in there?
mirrors from his grandfather when he was a kid.
Huh?
He came back to the craft after getting a business degree.
എൻ്റെ അപ്പൂപ്പൻ്റെ
Why get a business degree to sell that? Like, obviously, it's like a tradition and it's like, you know, culture there. Like, people are gonna buy it nonetheless.
മരണശേഷമാണ് ഇതിൽ കൂടുതലും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങിയത്. അമ്മയെ സഹായിക്കാനും അപ്പോൾ കൂടുതൽ അതിനോടുള്ള ആഗ്രഹം വന്നു, അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തു തുടങ്ങി.
This kind of passion for this work is not common for someone his age.
ആളുകൾ ഈ ക്രാഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ മടിക്കുന്നവരുമുണ്ട്. അത് ഇത് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള പാടും ചൂടത്തുള്ള നിർമ്മാണ രീതികളും ഒക്കെ ആയിരിക്കാം.
While the crucible dries out, Niranjan breaks up the tin and copper rods that he cast the day before. Only the people who have inherited this craft know just how much of each metal to add to the crucible.
നിർമ്മാണ മേഖലയിലുള്ള ഒരു സൊസൈറ്റി ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു നിയമം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ സീക്രട്ട് രഹസ്യങ്ങൾ, പ്രോസസ്സിൻ്റെ എല്ലാ രഹസ്യങ്ങളും അങ്ങനെ പുറത്ത് ആർക്കും പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കാറില്ല. അതേ കുടുംബങ്ങളിലെ തന്നെ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് കൈമാറിയാണ് വരുന്നത്.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
Legend has it that at least 300 years ago, the formula for reflective metal came to a village elder in a dream. Another story says that metalworkers accidentally discovered the alloy while making a crown for the king. The knowledge has been passed down in mirror-making families ever since. But that legacy almost came to an
Honestly, the crown one makes way more sense than it coming to him in a dream.
end for Sudhamal's family, when floods wiped out nearly their entire stock in 2018. It was the worst flooding the state of Kerala had seen in a century. Sudhamal and her family were among 1 million people who were forced to flee. After the floods, they came home to corroded tools and broken mirrors, totaling up to $17,000 worth of damage.
Damn.
ആറന്മുള കണ്ണാടിയുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട എല്ലാ നിർമ്മാണ എക്യുപ്മെൻറ്റ്സും എല്ലാം ലോസായി.
Not long after they got back
That's a lot, especially considering that they have a different economy, right? Like, that's like fucking $500,000 for them, probably.
to regular business, the pandemic hit. They didn't receive any orders for 8 months.
അതുപോലെ എല്ലാ യൂണിറ്റിനും സാമ്പത്തിക ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകളുണ്ട് നന്നായിട്ട്.
Sudhamal and Niranjan can't afford to hire anyone right now, so they have to put in double the work. Much of their 10-hour workday is spent tending to the fire. Niranjan feeds it with charcoal and coconut husks, while Sudhamal cranks the fan.
Okay.
ഏറ്റവും നമുക്ക് ആ ചൂട് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ള ആ ചൂട് തന്നെയാണ്.
The crucibles sit in the 1200-degree fire for about an hour, with the metal pieces at the bottom. Then Niranjan checks to see if the metal is melted by listening carefully for a sound. He cools down the hot crucible with his bare hands and a little bit of wet clay.
That's actually insane.
Then he slowly flips it. That makes the molten metal inside trickle down and fill the space between the discs.
അങ്ങനെ ഒരു പീസായിട്ടല്ല, ഒരു എണ്ണമായിട്ടല്ല നമ്മൾ നിർമ്മിക്കാറുള്ളത്. ഒരു ബൾക്കായിട്ട് 10 പീസ് അല്ല 20 പീസൊക്കെ എടുത്തിട്ടാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്.
To double check that it worked, he cracks open the top of each one. If there's a little metal left over, that means the mirror was successfully forged.
Okay.
But things don't always go according to plan. Sometimes the metal leaks out and doesn't form the mirror. But they always make sure to recycle leftover pieces back into the process.
Makes sense.
The next day, it's time for the reveal. The mirror isn't reflective just yet. It needs to go through several rounds of polishing. But first, Sudhamal cuts it down.
Bro, am I stupid? If you polish aluminum, it gets like a mirror anyway, right? If I go out and polish my wheels on the car, it will reflect too. What do you mean?
The size will determine the price. These mirrors range anywhere from $20 to $1,300. Their most popular
What?
kind is a handheld mirror called Valkanati. It's the same one that was used by royals. And today it's often gifted for housewarmings and weddings.
That's actually crazy.
The brass frame is made entirely by hand too, using a sand casting process. They make big batches of these frames a couple times a year. And the designs are all hand chiseled.
നിങ്ങളാണ് കൂടുതൽ 95%ഉം ഹാൻഡ് മെയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ തന്നെയാണ് ആഗ്രഹം. കൂടുതൽ ആളുകൾ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്നത് ഹാൻഡ് മെയ്ഡായിട്ടുള്ള
Bro, why is it with all videos that play in India that we have to see close-up shots of feet?
പ്രൊഡക്ട്സ് ആണ്. സോ മെഷീൻ യൂസുള്ള പ്രൊഡക്ട്സ് ആരും ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടാൻ താല്പര്യമില്ല എന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ വിശ്വാസം.
Sudhamal uses wet sandpaper to smooth the mirror's surface. She applies a few drops of coconut oil to polish it.
Huh.
And then she finally places the mirror inside the brass frame, using a homemade adhesive.
ഇങ്ങനെ പണ്ട് കാലം മുതലേ മണലും മെഴുകും ചെഞ്ചലും ഒരു പ്രത്യേക അനുഭവത്തിൽ ഉരുക്കിയെടുത്ത ആ മിശ്രിതത്തെ മണലുമായിട്ട് ചേർത്താണ് ഒരു
Government gave artisans exclusive rights to make these only in Aranmula back in 2005. And with a good eye, you can tell the difference between a real and a fake.
അതേപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ പിന്നെ പ്രതിബിംബം യഥാർത്ഥ പ്രതിബിംബമാണ് അതിൽ കാണുന്നത്.
Unlike normal mirrors, what do you mean? How is a normal mirror giving a distortion?
Typical glass mirrors reflect
What?
light through the back of the mirror,
Yes.
which can create distortion.
What kind of distortion are we
And
talking about?
Aranmula Kanadi reflects light on the surface of the metal, so it's believed to show a more accurate reflection.
മിറർ അവസാനമായിട്ട് പോളിഷ് ചെയ്ത് നമ്മൾ എടുക്കുന്ന ഉടനെ അതിൽ
I'm calling Cap. Mirror. What was it called? Chat.
Which can create distortion.
Distortion.
And Aranmula Kanadi reflects light on the surface of the metal, so it's believed to show a more
I don't know what
accurate.
fucking mirrors they're talking about, but like, I mean, obviously stuff like this exists, but like that's on purpose, no? When I look into a mirror, I don't think it looks super distorted. I don't know, bro.